All right, welcome back to ABA exam review and the continuation of our RBT practice question series. We're going through another set of questions together and breaking them down. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Please like and subscribe. Check out btexamreview.com for all of our study materials, including our combo pack. When you pass your exam, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. Let's get going. Hassan decides to improve his reading habits. He rewards himself with a snack each time he finishes reading a chapter. As a result, Hassan consistently finishes more chapters than before. What reinforcement schedule is Hassan using by rewarding himself every time he completes a chapter? So we've got a reinforcement schedule question, and reinforcement schedules you need to know for your exam are fixed ratios, fixed intervals, and variable intervals. We're going to think in terms of fixed versus variable, which means set or changing, or ratio and interval, which means response and time. In Hassan's case, is he working on an amount of responses or an amount of time? Well, we know every time he reads a chapter, he gets a snack. So reading a chapter is a response. He's not worried about how long it takes him, just that he completes that individual response. So we know it's going to be a ratio schedule. Then we ask ourselves, is this schedule changing? Is it sometimes one chapter? Is it sometimes three chapters? No. Every time he completes a chapter, he's rewarded. So it's not changing, it's going to be fixed. So we know it's going to be some sort of fixed ratio schedule. Now we have to ask ourselves, well, how many responses are required? Well, just one chapter. So it looks like a fixed ratio 1. If you look at A, fixed interval, it is fixed, but it's also based on an interval schedule or time. We're not looking at time here, we're looking at an amount of responses or a ratio. B, continuous reinforcement schedule. Another way to write continuous reinforcement schedule is FR1, which is exactly what we predicted. C, variable ratio, and D, variable interval. The issue with C and D is that they are variable. We know it's fixed because it's every time one chapter is done. That doesn't change. So Hassan is rewarding himself using a continuous reinforcement schedule. Two behavior technicians notice their shared client responds well to specific reinforcement techniques during activities. They schedule weekly meetings to discuss and align on these reinforcement strategies, ensuring consistent responses to client behaviors. What benefit does regular collaboration between technicians provide to the client's progress? So, we're talking about collaboration here and the benefit that provides to the client. And as a technician, you're going to be collaborating with other technicians, with behavior analysts, maybe teachers, maybe other therapists. Working as a team is the key to good ABA. Almost always, better collaboration leads to better results because everybody's on the same page, moving in the same direction. In this case, we have technicians who see that their client is responding well to specific reinforcement. So they get together weekly and discuss. That's fantastic, right? If they can align on these strategies, then they can maybe ensure consistent responses to behaviors. So, what kind of benefit is this adding? A, it increases friendly competition between behavior technicians, which leads to better outcomes. It might increase competition. Maybe each of these technicians push the other one to do better and better, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee better outcomes. So A is an okay answer, but it's not a great answer. B, it allows each technician to develop their own approach. Well, as a technician, you do want to be individualized, you want to be yourself, but this type of collaboration where they're aligning on a specific technique is not really going to help them develop their own approach, which is fine in this situation. C, it helps guarantee consistent implementation of strategies. Yes, right? It helps to ensure that we're going to implement our strategies consistently across all the technicians. And then D, it eliminates the need for ongoing supervision. Well, of course not. We always want ongoing supervision. You should seek out supervision. You want supervision. You want feedback. So eliminating supervision is never the goal. The benefit here is that it's going to help guarantee consistent implementation of strategies. Before a session begins, a behavior technician reviews a client's behavior intervention plan and data sheets, gathers necessary materials like a stopwatch and reinforcers, and checks that their data tracking app is ready and working properly. Based on these actions, what is the technician most likely doing? Very straightforward question, right? It is ripped straight from our task list. We want to know what the technician is doing. Well, this technician before session reviews the plan and data sheets. They gather necessary data collection materials, stopwatches, and reinforcement, and check that their data tracking app is ready and working properly. So, all these little things the technician is doing is preparing them to do what? Well, it's A, preparing for data collection, and that's ripped straight from the beginning of the task list. You should be ready to collect data as soon as the session starts. You don't use the first 15 minutes of session to get ready. You've got to be ready when session starts so we don't waste any time. A looks good, but we always read all of our answer choices. B, preparing for a functional analysis. A functional analysis is when we're trying to determine function of behavior through manipulation of the environment. Not necessarily what's going on here. It looks just like some simple data preparation. C, preparing for a preference assessment. If we were going to get a preference assessment together, we would gather a bunch of different stimuli that we think the client may like. Nowhere in the question is the technician doing that. C doesn't seem right. D, preparing for parent training. Just because they're getting together some data collection materials doesn't mean they're getting ready for parent training, right? We already have this plan in place. They're looking for data collection items, looking at data tracking apps. Everything is pointing towards data collection. So what the technician is most likely doing is A, preparing for data collection. Differential reinforcement is used in several different situations in practice, guided by applied behavior analysis. Which of the following skills or behaviors is not something we would target or teach using differential reinforcement? So differential reinforcement involves what? It involves reinforcing a target behavior and putting another behavior on extinction. And through differential reinforcement, we teach a lot of different skills. We teach stimulus discrimination, we teach response differentiation, we can shape behavior. Differential reinforcement is very, very strong. This question wants to know which of the following skills or behaviors is not something we would target or teach. So it's a not question. We're looking for something we would not teach using differential reinforcement. A child at school selecting the correct backpack off the backpack shelf at the end of the day. Well, if we had backpack A and B, and we needed the child to select A, we would reinforce that and put this on extinction. That's differential reinforcement. Looks pretty good. B, a musician playing a piece of music slower to match the required tempo. If we had a musician playing slow versus fast, we would reinforce this, put this on extinction. Also looks pretty good for differential reinforcement. C, a bartender pouring the correct amount of alcohol into each drink they make. If we need the bartender to pour 1.5 ounces instead of 2 ounces, well, reinforcement, extinction, you get the idea. Differential reinforcement could be used for A, B, and C. So we would not target, well, D, none of the above. Differential reinforcement is used all the time. It's very versatile. An employee at a cafe wants to greet customers warmly every day. Initially, she rewards herself daily for greeting customers warmly. Gradually, she reduces the frequency of self-rewarding to once a week with the intent of removing rewards altogether. What is the employee attempting to accomplish by fading the reinforcing stimulus? Let's think about this. We're looking at the employee's behavior, and what are they doing? Well, they're greeting customers warmly. At the beginning, she gets a daily reward for the behavior. She then thins the schedule and only once a week. Now she wants to remove rewards altogether. But once she removes the rewards, she wants that behavior to continue, right? And when we teach a behavior and then stop teaching and fade out the reinforcement, what are we trying to get that behavior to do? We want it to maintain. Now, if you look at A, generalization, we're not pointing towards any generalization here, right? We know she's one employee at one cafe greeting customers. It doesn't say anything about going to a different cafe, greeting them in a different way. She just wants to greet them the same way every day at this cafe. Generalization doesn't necessarily seem to be what she's working towards. What she's trying to do is maintenance. She wants her behavior to continue without having to get all these rewards. And that's really our goal. We want to teach skills that will maintain. C, prompt fading. Well, she's not fading the prompt, right? She's fading the stimulus. So be very careful there. Got to read carefully. And then D, shaping. Well, shaping, we're reinforcing approximations. She's trying to get rid of reinforcement for a behavior she can already do, which is greet customers warmly. What she's attempting to do here is promote maintenance of her behavior. Thanks for watching. Check out btexamreview.com for all of our study materials. When you pass, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Please subscribe, work hard, study hard. See you soon.